Well, this is what we are up to today. It is somewhat of a rain day. It's not raining outside. It's nice and sunny out there, but we got a lot of rain last night and this morning. We got the 8R340 in here, and we've got the wheel spacers that we're going to put on the front wheels. Now, I don't need any of you guys reporting me to YouTube saying that we haven't washed this tractor. I don't have a washing crew that could get here in time today to wash this to make it look all spiffy. We've been using this tractor to spread fertilizer with. Oh, Andrew's had it on the offset disc. My brother's using it on the offset disc, chisel plow, and so on. So it's gotten a little dirty. We have not used this yet on the mower. We've got a pile of parts that we need to go through here and sort and put away and whatever. But here is the gearbox right there for the hay bind. That is a reversible one. In other words, you can flip it over. I know I had a lot of the viewers saying, oh, you just gotta turn the gearbox that's on your mower. Well, yeah, but that one doesn't turn. Doesn't have mounting holes in it or what have you. Now we're going to be really pissed if it's got them there, but according to our serial number on our mower, it's not able to be reversed like that. So I touched on this item here back a while ago. I think it was maybe a week or two ago. This is an air jack that I ordered back last fall. And we're going to use this on this tractor just to use it, just to see how it works. But this is going to get put into the service truck, and it's going to be used for mainly out in the field on soft ground, on items that are maybe sunk in the mud a little bit, and something that has limited height to get a bottle jack underneath. Last year we had a flat tire on one of the silage trucks in the field, the front right tire. And it took quite a bit of jacking to get the front end up off the ground. It's a real easy job in the shop here. But we kept punching 6x6s and blocking, and we just punched a lot of stuff down through the soft ground. So I ordered this mat jack. It's an air jack. This one's a 70-tonner, and the reason why I went with this large of a air jack is because of the height that it will raise. This was like $3,100. So it comes with a regulator, or a valve rather, that you will use to inflate it, hold it, and deflate it. So we're going to use that on the front end of this tractor. So we got to pull the wheels off, bolt the spacers on, and then once the spacers are bolted on, then we put the rim, the tire, and the wheel on. These spacers here are 8-inch. We might have to screw around with putting the tire on and off, because if we go out 8 inches, it's probably got to put the front tire, well, it might line that right up in line with the rear. But we've got to measure the offset on these wheels. I don't know what the inside is. We're at about 1 foot there, and I don't know what the other side is. So we might have to switch one tire, put this tire on that side once the spacers are on to achieve the width that we want. We don't want to go crazy with the width, but if we got the front out wider than, well, we can't go too wide because you don't want to be running over your windrow of hay. Now I'm gonna have some of you saying, oh my God, you put them spacers on there and you're going to stress out the front end. Well, this is the same front end they used with a adjustable rim that would get the tire out there anyway. So it is doing the same, the front end is doing the same thing, or carrying the same load that any of these other tractors are carrying as far as where the wheel spacing is. So we'll get this jacked up and get after it here. You guys gonna change some oils today? Yeah. Got that big chisel plow, you can take that down, service that, then unhook it, and then 95/60 in, right? Alright, before we throw this jack underneath there, it might not be the ideal thing to use in here, since we can throw a bottle jack underneath it. But we'll go ahead and air it up and just kind of see what it looks like here. It's a dry run. Alright, so you can kind of see how that thing works. That should be a pretty good unit. I chose not to use it on the front end of this here, just because we're on the concrete. It's not necessary for this job. We've bought that air jack here for specific jobs. And I've got to come in with the forklift. Now I could have put a mat of wood down, you know, a couple of 6x6s, and then put it in underneath there, and it would have very easily lifted it up. The bottle jacks that we have, they are 20 ton, and that there is good for 70 ton. All right, we got these torqued. Now we're gonna set that wheel on there and see what it looks like. All right, so we have the wheel spacers on this tractor, and we goofed around with it and goofed around and goofed around and goofed around. But when we put this spacer on, the spacer is 8 inches, so we gained 16 inches overall in between the tires. The rim is offset. There's a 3-inch difference. We thought we were going to mount it, you know, this tire on that side and vice versa. Well, we had that set up that way and we didn't like it. So we've got it out as wide as it will go, and it is, the sidewall is right in line with the outer sidewall on the rear tire. We just didn't like the way it was. It only had like 60 inches between the sidewalls here. So we've got that all in place. We've got the mower on here. This mower was on the 7930. We also swapped out this gearbox. So this shaft on this tractor turns a different direction than the 7930, and you can't just flip the gearbox over. There was some of them, some of the earlier ones, I guess you could do that. There is a shaft on this other side, and oh my God, I know. Yes, you can switch it over, and that shaft would run on that side and vice versa, and it would work. No, that shaft is to run a conditioner that would be on here. So the reason why this can't just be flipped around the other way, it has to freewheel when you shut the PTO off on the tractor. This tractor more or less is the same as if you had a shaft that was right from the front of the tractor to the back of the tractor. Clockwise on the rear, counterclockwise on the front. The 7930 and the 7000 Deeres, they ran the same direction up front that they do in the back. But all of the other tractors, from what I have been told, are going to run this way, opposite direction on the front as it would on the back. That doesn't really make much sense, but I think this is turning from the transmission is driving this one, and the 7000s, the engine drove a gearbox, the coupler off the engine up front or something. I don't quite I don't think I have that information correct, but this is ready to go. So this is what this unit looks like with the mower on there. I know some of you have commented that, oh my God, 340 horsepower is too much to mow hay with. Well, someday, if we're pulling something bigger than what we currently have on this rear end, we'll have enough horsepower. The 7930, once in a while, you'd get into situations where you'd run out of power on that one, especially when we had the conditioners, which we had conditioners on the very first Pottinger mower that we had. So we're going to get the chopper back inside. That's sitting up in the hay barn up there. We'll get that back inside. We've got to run through it and get it ready to chop hay here tomorrow, so we'll join up with you guys here in the morning. Well, we are now into the next day, and we should be able to chop some today. This 7930 came off the mower here last night, needs an oil change. We hooked dump wagons up because we got about 1.5 to 2 inches of rain. And we've got those units hooked up. We hooked the silage blade on, and Nate's been watching this front wheel, and he assumed it moved a little bit the other day. And it has appeared that has moved some more. So we've got to pull the outside dual and get after the inside hub so that we can get that tightened up. But I've got to get an oil plug back in this, a filter, and get some oil installed. And we've got to sharpen knives on the chopper and get ready to chop here. I wanted to chop just before noon today, and we've got a fair amount of work ahead of us to get ready for that. We were not expecting to have to screw around with that wheel, but we're gonna have to now. So let's get this done and get on to the next thing here. Well, Nate's got the dual removed. Now we're gonna have to remove this dual hub and get that inner wheel loosened up, and we're probably gonna have to pull the wheel right off of it and clean the X all up. We've had this happen before. Not pretty, but Nate's got a new Hercules impact. Is that 3/4? 3/4 drive. That's fastly becoming the battery tool of choice around here. The Milwaukees have kind of faded a little bit, so we'll get that off. He's got to bang it loose. We'll have to pull this snap ring, then we can lift this hub right off of it. Nate has the hub, the dual removed, the hub removed, the inside wheel loose. Now we're gonna pull that right off the X and clean the axle up, clean the wedges up, and then put it all back together. We've got to clean that up. I'm gonna pull these wedges out. And yeah, I don't like the looks of this axle. This axle is wore. Right there. From there to there. So maybe we'll try to go in a little further and catch some of that good part of the axle, but we're gonna have to replace that X on that, unfortunately. So, I don't know, Nathan.
Not good.
Not good. So. Alright, so Nate's got this hub. He took the wedges out of it, wire wheeled the wedges, wire brushed the inside of the hub, cleaned up the axle, and I put some Loctite on the axle as well. This axle is not in the greatest shape. So we'll get this back together, and then hopefully we can get this to tighten up and stay tight. What we'd like to do is drive it around the driveway. We've been down this road before with just the inner tire on, and then tighten it up after we drive around, but this blade is so heavy the tire can't support it. So you raise it up and I'll drive her in. It's nice with the blade on there. The blade acts as our jack. At least this one won't fall off the jack.
Hopefully I don't go the wrong way.
Like yesterday's job. Can you see them numbers good enough, or do you want to mark them? Maybe you should mark them just so it's faster. All right, so everything's been cleaned up. We've got it setting in place. Now we just need to tighten them bolts in a sequence. Wrap the axle a couple times. Get after it with a breaker bar. Go after it again, tightening, because once we get it together, we've got a special socket, which I'll show you that here in a second. Special tool that will get inside there and we'll be able to tighten it after the fact, but you have to do all the work between the duals. I'll show you that. Alright, so this is our special tool that allows you to slide in there and get this on the bolt. It's a real pain in the ass. It's best if you can drive these around and get them to seat and then tighten them again. And then Deere advises going in 10 hours later and retorquing them, but we got to retorque them with that guy. So they have these hubs numbered so you can tighten them in sequence. We always go around with a Sharpie just to not confuse a 3 with an 8, a 5 with a 2, a 7 with a 1, an 8 with a 3. So, plus it helps Damien learn how to count.
No, we can't do
Right, Damien?
Not real.
What do you got for a hat on today? What are you promoting? Pioneer?
Yeah, I needed it yesterday, so.
Needed it?
Sandblasting.
They are giving you the royalties to be wearing that, right? He's not playing the game.
No.
This guy's got his channel hat on. So
That's an old one.
Nate and I have the A-team hats on, so.
Don't want to root.
This tractor does need a bath. It's come out of manure. And we just need to get the time to do it. 8 inches. Let me show you how I'm measuring this. Both of them green frame to the tread bar.
Okay.
All right, and 7 on this side, 8 on that side. So
We gotta get that hooked up. That popped out.
this one. Alright, so Nate has gone around it several times with the impact. He got it to the point where it would not tighten any farther. Went a rotation, whacked it with a hammer, and kept doing that until the impact stopped tightening. And then he's went and torqued it. You got to adjust his elbow back to 0. He's got a 500 foot-pound elbow. It creaks. It creaks when it creaks when it gets there. Well, that's why I needed to have him turn it down. So what we're gonna do now, we are gonna drive it around the driveway, but we'll go ahead and show you what this looks like. Go ahead and lift it up. We'll get that block out, and then you can set this down. We'll show you how much this squats. We're gonna put the dual hub on, and then we're going to put the dual on, pull that block when he raises, and then we're going to drive it around the driveway, take the dual back off, and then use the so he's setting down, and it'll just about keep going. Lift up. No, lift the blade up. So you can see how much that squats that tire. So, all right, raise the tractor back up. He'll get the hub on there. Keep going, keep going. Whoa! He'll get the dual hub on. We'll put the dual on it. And then drive it around the driveway, pull the dual back off, pull the hub back off, and then we can tighten this the correct way with actually looking at what the numbers are. The only other way to do it is to leave everything on there, and then you got to kind of write the numbers down on a piece of paper so that you can clock it accordingly. Don't worry about me, I'm the camera guy. Boy, you gotta go farther. Right there. Maybe, yeah, you got it. All right. All right, Nathan is tightening this wheel up. He's just looking at what number he has to be on. He's trying to do everything right from here. We had decided not to take the dual off. You getting anything? Getting a little, huh?
Yep.
So 2 is going to be directly we should have drew those numbers on there a couple of different times, a couple of different ways, and we should have wrote it on a piece of paper too, because you can't really see sideways on it. Now it looks like he's got them all marked. Well, that's a good sign, Nate. That one didn't loosen. 3 is going to be right next to 1, ain't it? Almost close to 1.